Imagine not being Leeds, not feeling this pain, not dancing through thunder, not walking through rain. Imagine not rising with fists in the air when the world turned its back and no one would care. We've lived in the ashes, we've drowned in defeat, but still we stand proud on our battered old feet. Imagine not loving with all that you are. Imagine not being Leeds.
We love you, Leeds, Leeds, Leeds.
We do love you, Leeds, Leeds, Leeds. Now then, folks, I hope everyone's doing well. Welcome back to Imagine Not Being Leeds. International break. Bit of a tough time for content creators and all that. I'm just a guy that likes to chat shit on YouTube. Content creators are a little bit strong, but that's what we get called. So, content creating. Let's have a chat about it. Not much to talk about in terms of football because there's no game till next week. I've already spoke about Bournemouth and Spurs and all that sort of thing, but something that come to my head yesterday, and I thought I'd see what I could do with it, just as a bit of fun. Not a case of forcing content. I'm not in the sort of space for that, but I really thought this was an interesting one. So I've gone on to ChatGPT, which used quite a lot to do some of my crazy ideas and bits and bobs that I do. If you haven't seen some of my shorts on my Manchester United sketches, so go check them out on TikTok as well. I'm a bit of a sausage, as most of you know, watch me regular. But I wanted to know what ChatGPT would have predicted for Leeds United had the turbulence of the early 2000s not taken over. So we know about administration. We know about the dizzy heights of the semi-final against Valencia in the Champions League in May 2001. Let's start again. I wish it were 2021. The dizzy heights of that in 2001. We know that side, unbelievable. Rio Ferdinand, Kewell, Bowyer, Smith, Batty, Decor, Don Matteo. It was Mark Viduka at 9, just an unbelievable player, one of my favourite all-time players. And it got me thinking, where would that side be? Where would the club be? What would the club have won had, Ridsdale not gambled too much and we'd have carried on that trajectory we was on? Because let's be fair, we had the brightest and youngest squad in the Premier League. A lot of English talent in there too, a lot of great youth prospects that we'd brought through. We'd done it the right way. We hadn't had to spend big to create that side. We'd done phenomenal to get that squad we had to a semi-final at Champions League. It was unbelievable. And yeah, it got me thinking where we would be. So, like I say, I've asked ChatGPT to sort of give me a timeline from that moment on of what we'd have done to the present day. And I've banged it in CapCut, and it's given a little bit of a video with it. So yeah, I haven't watched it all the way through yet. I haven't read it. I've sort of just copied and pasted it to see how it come across, and here's my reaction to it. And yeah, let's watch it together and see what you think. So this is what ChatGPT has said we would have done as a club had that turbulent time that happened in the early 2000s. Let's go.
The Empire That Never Fell. 2001-2025 alternate timeline. 2001. The Ascent, David O'Leary's young Leeds side conquer Europe's elite, reaching the Champions League semi-final and finishing 4th in the Premier League. Chairman Peter Ridsdale balances ambition with restraint. He keeps spending under control, securing long-term contracts for Ferdinand, Bowyer, Kewell, and Smith. The football world takes notice. Leeds are the next big thing.
We were.
2002, Champions League return Leeds build on momentum. O'Leary adds depth, signing Michael Carrick from West Ham and Robbie Keane permanently. In Europe, they make the Champions League quarterfinals, knocking out Roma before bowing to Real Madrid. Domestically, they finish 3rd behind Arsenal and Manchester United, their best finish in a generation. 2002-03, the title challenge Leeds, now mature and battle-hardened, push for the league title. Ferdinand captains a rock-solid defense.
To what it was.
Kewell dazzles on the wing, and Viduka hits 25 goals in all competitions. They beat Arsenal 3-1 at Elland Road in a defining moment, but fall short in April, finishing 2nd, just 3 points behind Manchester United. In the FA Cup, they lose a heartbreaking final to Arsenal 2-1. But the nation knows Leeds are now true contenders. 2003-04. Glory days, champions of England, O'Leary's golden generation peaks, while Arsenal go unbeaten in real life. In this timeline, Leeds are the ones who break that run. A tactical masterclass at Highbury, and a 4-0 thrashing of Liverpool at home
Wouldn't it be
seal
the
Leeds'
Invincibles
first
if
Premier
it
League
Leeds had
title
been
since
about the Invincibles? That's
1992. Kewell wins PFA Player of the Year, and Smith, now a complete striker, earns an England starting spot. Elland Road overflows. The streets of Leeds glow white and yellow for days. 2004-05. Europe's elite Leeds reached the Champions League semi-finals again, defeating Juventus and Lyon before falling to eventual winners AC Milan. Domestically, they finished third, with O'Leary hailed as the Professor of Yorkshire.
You could have seen this happen.
Youngsters James Milner and Aaron Lennon begin breaking into the side, setting the tone for a sustainable future. Trophy or 6. The transition. After 5 intense years, O'Leary steps aside to take the Ireland job. Leeds appoint Martin O'Neill, who brings in a touch of steel and experience, signing Shay Given and Jamie Carragher to solidify the back line. Leeds win the FA Cup, beating Chelsea 2-0 at Cardiff. A new chapter begins. The old guard still strong, but a new generation emerging. 2006-2010. The dynasty Leeds remain a top 4 regular. Chelsea 7 finished second behind Manchester United. Milner blossoms into a star. 2007-08. Reached the Champions League final, losing narrowly 1-0 to AC Milan. Heartbreak, but global respect. 8-9. Finally lift the League Cup. Lennon, Milner, and Delph form a vibrant core. 2009-10. Win the FA Cup again and finish second. O'Neill's Leeds become England's most consistent team. Elland Road expands to 48,000 seats, symbolizing their new status as one of Europe's elite. 2010-2015. The modern powerhouse O'Neill moves upstairs and Leeds appoint a young, dynamic manager, Brendan Rodgers, fresh from Swansea.
Wow.
He inherits an academy overflowing with talent. Phillips, Cook, and White all rise through the ranks. Leeds play thrilling, attacking football reminiscent of Bielsa's future style. 2011-12. Leeds win their second Premier League title, edging Manchester City by 2 points. 2012-13. Knocked out in the Champions League semi-finals by Dortmund, but their football earns global admiration. 2014-15. Rodgers wins Manager of the Year. Leeds finish second and win the Europa League, beating Sevilla 3-2 in Warsaw. By this point, Leeds are firmly part of England's Big Five: United, City, Arsenal, Chelsea, and Leeds.
Still out in my eyes.
2016-2020, the European era. Under Rodgers' leadership, Leeds evolve tactically. They invest in data, sports science, and Elland Road's total redevelopment. Capacity 52,000. Their football becomes fast, modern, and fearless. 2016-17. Reach Champions League semi-final, lost to Real Madrid. 2017-18. Win the Premier League title on the final day, beating Spurs 3-1 at Elland Road. Phillips lifts the trophy as local captain. 2018-19. Win the FA Cup, completing a domestic double. 19-20 pandemic hits, but Leeds finish third and dedicate their campaign to NHS heroes in the city of Leeds. 2021-2025, the present-day legacy Leeds remain a powerhouse. A club built on loyalty, academy roots, and attacking football. They're now led by Julian Nagelsmann, who succeeds Rodgers in 2021. 2021-22. Leeds reached the Champions League final, losing 2-1 to Liverpool in Paris. Heartbreak, but pride. 2023. Lift their third Premier League title, beating Arsenal to the crown. 2024-25. Celebrate 25 years since O'Leary's European adventure. Still in the Champions League, still fighting for trophies, still marching on together.
Wow, interesting. Obviously, some parts will be a little bit far-fetched, but I'd love to get your comments in the comment section below and hear what you think we'd have won. You know, that's what, 3 Premier League titles, a couple of FA Cups, League Cup, Europa, a League trophy, a couple of losses in the Champions League final. If we'd have been run correctly on the trajectory we was on with the young players coming through and the pathway we had into the first team, what produced, you know, multiple talents in that period of time where we were a Championship side and a League One side, you know, we had to sell a lot of players on. Where do you think we'd have been? What do you think we'd have achieved? You know, we know we're a huge club, huge fan base. You know, we know who we are and what we are. A lot of, a couple of generations of fans now. Leeds fans, opposition fans, sort of don't know the history, sort of maybe don't know the younger generation, maybe don't know what we were like, at the turn of the century and how we were looking. Bad ownership put us on such a bad path that led us to, like I say, League One days, administration, massive points deductions, and having to fight his way, like a phoenix rising from the ashes. And we're probably now, we've seen it under Bielsa a little bit, and then we faltered, obviously under that ownership as well under Radrizzani. I feel now we're probably the most secure and on the most steady footing we've been since the relegation, the first time round in the early 2000s. And yeah, it's looking good. It's looking rosy again. Everything off the field looks good. The team on the pitch looks decent. But I do believe if we'd have been managed properly 20 odd years ago, we'd be on such a, we'd be one of the elite right now with a trophy cabinet stacked in silverware. So yeah, I'd love to get your opinions. It's just a little bit of fun. Some of it, like I said, a little bit far-fetched. ChatGPT is a little bit random at times, but it's an interesting conversation. And an interesting thought that I had. So, yeah, that's what that thinks. That's what I think. Let me know what you think. Please take care. Do me a favor. Please smash a like if you don't mind this kind of content. Please subscribe if you're new here. And please smash the hype button too if you can. It really helps the channel because YouTube's sort of doing un-YouTubey stuff right now. And it's hard for the content to be visible for people to watch it. So, yeah, if you don't mind doing your bit, I'll keep doing my bit. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your week. Take care.